As we all know, Rudy Giuliani was never actually paid for any of the legal work that he did for Donald Trump and the Republican Party with his attempts to try to overturn the results of the 2020 election. And recently in bankruptcy court, Rudy Giuliani said that based on his estimations, Donald Trump and the Republican Party collectively owe him about $2 million. But he has not asked them to pay. But he did do the legal work, so technically that money is owed. And that brings us to today. According to new reports, the Committee of Unsecured Creditors, which is a group that represents people trying to recover cash from the former New York City mayor, they are discussing whether or not to force Rudy Giuliani to sue Donald Trump, and of course he would also have to sue the Republican Party, to pay that past due $2 million bill. Now, this group, as I said, this Committee of Unsecured Creditors, those are the people that Rudy Giuliani owes money to. So legally speaking, that's what all the bankruptcy court and everything's about. You put them all in one pool. These people are owed money by this man that is trying to get out of paying people money. So they're entitled to Giuliani's assets to pay off the debt that he owes these people. If Giuliani does not have the cash or the assets to pay these people, it gets split amongst them, with each getting a percentage, depending on how much he owes total. They each get a percentage relative to what he owes them. But again, if he doesn't have the cash and he doesn't have the assets, which all signs point to he doesn't have either of those that'll even come close to addressing his debts, they could compel him to sue for any outstanding debts that he is owed so that they can get their money. Now, Giuliani owes Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss alone $148 million. But he's also being sued already by multiple different people, including Hunter Biden, Dominion Voting Systems, and of course his former assistant, Noelle Dunphy, in that harassment lawsuit. So he's going to owe a lot more people a lot more money. And they want to be able to get at least part of it. But they may not be able to do that unless they force Giuliani to sue Donald Trump. Now, here's where things get a little murky, right? They're discussing at the moment, as I said, whether or not to try to force him to do this. But legally speaking, you cannot force one party to sue another, no matter what. Like, you cannot actually force them to do it. However, what they can do, because they have all the power and Giuliani has no power, is they can approach Giuliani and say it this way. They can say, listen, we are willing to reduce the amount that you owe us if, one, you sue to get that $2 million back and are successful with that suit. And in exchange, we reduce the amount and we don't take every asset that you own and leave you effectively homeless. So once he is presented with that threat of Giuliani, you will literally be out on the streets. You will have nothing but the shirt on your back. You won't have a vehicle. You won't have a company. You won't have any place to lay your head down at night. You won't even have money for a hotel room for a night. Once he's presented with that, Giuliani may rethink his position of I'll never sue them for the money, which of course is what his political advisor, for some reason he still has one, said this week as well. Giuliani will never sue. Okay, he says that now, but I think the threat of literally losing everything he's ever worked for in his entire life, when somebody is faced with that kind of threat, tends to make them rethink a couple of their decisions. We'll see how this plays out.